have to say much because a lot of what I wanted to say to you, I think Tom has covered. I think a lot of our speakers this morning has covered. And I think for me, certainly, this is the first IPA Commercial Conference I've ever come to. I'm very, very glad I have. And I've learnt a lot that I'm going to take away. And the message seems clear. And the survey isn't going to tell you anything that won't come as a surprise, I believe. So the survey was sent out in May. We had 62 agencies respond out of the 220 IPA member agencies. The purpose of the survey was to look at, as Liz just said, what we felt about strategic pricing, selling and negotiation within our agencies and how we were handling it. 4 slides to take you through, if it will go. So, first, no surprise, majority just under 70%, we're still on a cost-plus based model. So there's not really a tremendous amount of innovation or difference, and from what we've heard this morning, it's no surprise that it is cost-plus. And following on from that, actually, only around about just under 20% of us are actually training our frontline client-facing staff in commercial pricing and negotiation. So not only are we sticking to an age-old model that we're very used to and we feel safe and comfortable with, we're also not investing, as Tom has just shown us that WPP are, consistently in training the people that need to do it. Then, do we consider strategic pricing to be one of our core agency disciplines? Only this year have I had an epiphany around this, and am I really starting to look at it and trying to address it within Field Day. But actually only 1 in 5 of us is currently considering it to be a core discipline. So fairly worrying really. If we really want to start addressing this, how many of us are going to be committing to try and getting our Chief Pricing Officer around the table anytime soon? And then leading on from that, whether it was the case of the need to have a slightly more complex chart because the others have been fairly simple pie ones, what we have here is a choice-based question which was around who we felt needs to be responsible for this. So who actually is going to make the difference to how we tackle this within our industry. Now, we start off, and if you look at the colours, basically, the blue and the red are those that agree. So either completely agree or slightly agree with the statements that are being said. So we start off, and it's encouraging, because 90% of us say, actually, it's up to us as agencies to address this. It is our problem, and we need to fix it. But then, Tom and the team at the IPA cunningly tried to catch us out, and we were caught out. Because then if you go down to the other 4 questions underneath, you'll see that around about 50% of us go, oh yeah, but it might be that it's mostly our problem. But I think you'll also find it's everyone else's problem as well. So it's those pesky clients, it's their senior management that make all these strategic decisions that undermine our pricing. It's those procurement devils that we've just met with Tom that undermine us and undercut us on fees. And actually it's also all of us. So all of you out there, all you other agencies, you're undermining my ability to make money and my ability to do well at this. So ostensibly what we're doing is we're kind of accepting blame, but we're also pointing the finger elsewhere and saying it's everybody else's problem, which kind of says to me there's a bit of a status quo here and we're not going to move forward unless we actually address, and I'm certainly kind of making a promise to Laura, my FD sitting out in the audience there, that it is my problem to fix. And if I don't fix it for our business with my senior management team, I can't expect to move forward with this. And I've played the blame game, I've played the procurement of the evil devils game, I've done all of that, and it doesn't get you anywhere. So fundamentally what we're trying to do is look at how we actually commit to this as a long-term strategic decision for our business. And it's quite timely that this conference is happening now, because we're at the midpoint of the year. And I don't know about anybody else out there, all of you MDs and CEOs, you start the year with the optimism and you look at your long-term strategies and you feel like you can hold the line on them. And then we get to the midpoint, and certainly as a group-owned agency, you get to the midpoint where you're sitting down and you're reviewing progress to date and what needs to happen for the next 6 months of the year. And then we start making all of those short-term tactical decisions that undermine all of our long-term strategies, because we feel under pressure to make decisions that fill up the coffers at the top but don't necessarily help us with the strategic positioning that we want to take. So it's actually about being brave. It's about spotting the opportunities. Start small, commit to it for the long term. Don't expect that we're going to change everything overnight. And I'm going to conclude fairly rapidly because I want us to get onto the panel discussion, because I certainly have a lot of questions, and I won't be answering them because I'll be sitting up here, but I have a lot of questions coming out today that I feel you probably are sitting on yourself. So I think all I'd say to you is we still have more members of the financial community in this room than senior leadership of agencies. So everybody out there, FDs, commercial directors, please make a commitment next year to bring your MDs and your CEOs along. And congratulations to all the MDs and CEOs out there, because you're the forward thinkers that recognise, unfortunately, whilst we all want to be selling the sexy creative product, and I'd much prefer to be there kind of painting the pretty pictures with my creative teams, this is the important stuff that's actually going to fundamentally help our industry thrive and survive in the future. So on that note, let's get to the panel.